The Giants have won 4 out of 5. Can they keep it rolling tonight and win the series against the Dodgers? That's all coming up on Locked On Giants.
You are Locked On Giants, your daily San Francisco Giants podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Giants. My name is Alan Stiles, and the Giants have done it again. They are 4-1 now against the back-to-back champs, the defending champs, the Smurfs, the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I don't know why they turned into prime Jordan against the Dodgers, but I'm here for it, and I know a lot of Giants fans are here for it. So we're going to break down what happened last night. We have a conversation about Bryce Eldridge and what he's done so far. I know we talked about him getting more ABs and consistent ABs yesterday. That was the big conversation. But how has Bryce Eldridge looked? There was a play yesterday that I wanted for him so badly. Next, we do have a bit of a follow-up on Bob Nightengale. I got a chance to speak with him, and I got some details for you as far as what he meant in his article, as some people are going back and forth on whether or not he had a scoop or was it just his opinion. And last but not least, Dodgers preview part 3 out of 4. So let's start with what happened last night, about last night, and it was another great day for the San Francisco Giants. They are still in LA, of course, and they are making themselves quite comfortable in LA. And let's start here with Eric Haase, who some of you probably didn't even know who Eric Haase was before today. I really only know much about him because I'm in Sacramento and I'm working for the River Cats. But a lot of you probably don't know who Eric Haase is, and you got to learn last night exactly who he is with 2 home runs in 2 crucial spots. We've seen this Giants team before where they just refuse to say no. There are other times where they're just not in the conversation at all and can't really be bothered. But we saw last night one of those versions, the bully ball Giants, where they don't go away. Shohei hits a home run. That's okay. We got Eric Haase for you. So I thought that was incredible. He almost hit 3. If it had been, earlier in the night, I think Tony Vitello said he could have gone for 3. Harrison Bader got on the board as well. So this is the type of stuff. They own Yamamoto, by the way, for whatever reason. This is the type of stuff that Giants fans will get up out their seats for and continue to be excited about as far as what the Giants could do, right? And how they can continue to climb out of this hole that they are in. And once again, Matt Chapman rode Pine. And these are the options that we discussed. You had Bryce Eldridge at first base, Rafi Devers DHing, Casey Schmidt at third base, and then Casey went over to first base towards the end of the game, and Matt Chapman came in for the defense and did end up getting an AB. But that's how you're going to get Bryce Eldridge at bats. We'll talk more about Bryce on the other side. But yeah, man, it's just really nice to watch the Giants play cohesive baseball and play baseball that just makes sense. And I got to give a shout out to Willy Adames. Okay, 2 for 4 last night. He's been hot. This started last week or maybe the week before. He's starting to heat up now. Elliot Ramos is always good for a hit. Like I said, Harrison Bader, Jung-Hoo Lee, huge double. Okay, 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. So just timely hitting when you needed it the most. And the Giants, I don't know why they turned into this against the Dodgers. If we can harness it against every team, we'd really have some action here. So this is from my guy, Mark Grandy, as far as Eric Haase and the other catchers. After Eric Haase's first 2 at-bats, here's a production the Giants have gotten from the catcher position this season. When Bailey is catching, slashing 146, 213, 183 with no doubles, no triples, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs. When anyone else is catching, 396, 429, 679, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 3 home runs, and 13 RBIs. Now, obviously, that's a bit ballooned because of what Eric Haase did last night, but it's still true It's still true. Even if that was an anomaly, it's still true. And look, we wish Patrick Bailey the best, but I did find that quite fascinating. If you are actually getting production from your catcher, that can take a little bit of pressure off of everyone else. That is kind of the flip side of it. Well, we could sit here and blame the other hitters and say, man, well, Patrick Bailey's not there to hit, so it's not really on him. And that's true, don't get me wrong. But on the flip side, if you do have a catcher or if you do have production coming out of your catcher position, it takes a little bit of pressure off some of your big money players that you want to produce and you need them to produce, but now you're seeing production from other places. So it's kind of a flip or flop thing. And that's what we're seeing with the catcher position when anybody catches, not named Patrick Bailey. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is now 0-3 with the 3.77 ERA, 49 strikeouts and 7 appearances against the Giants. He's just not ready for the beef. He's just not ready for the smoke. He can't handle the rivalry. Clearly, Yamamoto can win a World Series, but he cannot handle the bright lights of facing the San Francisco Giants. And you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it every day of the week. And really, it's the Dodgers as a whole. The Dodgers have now lost 4 games in a row by 4 or more runs. The last time that happened was 90 years ago, back in July 1936. That's from Jessica Brand. So the Dodgers are scuffling a little bit. I know they got Mookie back into the fold, but maybe there's some not awkwardness, but trying to transition as they can't keep guys healthy. They can't keep starting pitching healthy. Luckily, they have just an embarrassment of riches, so that doesn't matter. And I don't know. Look, I'm not even going to look it up because I don't care that much. But Kyle Tucker, I forget that dude is on the team. And I don't want to jinx it. That's probably what I'm doing right now. So that's my bad in advance. But honestly, I'll be watching the game and Kyle Tucker will come up to bat and I'll think, oh, wasn't that guy like the most sought after free agent this past season, this past off season? I completely forgot that dude exists. And that's how he wanted it. He wasn't ready to be the guy. He didn't want to be the guy. He wanted to hit 6 or 7, whatever the heck he hits on the Dodgers. So good for him. Not everybody is built for the bright lights. Like Eric Haase. Not everybody is built for that. Like Harrison Bader. So Kyle Tucker, go sit in the corner, get carried by everybody else. That's fine. That's your prerogative. Get your money, dude. I'm not hating on you. But I literally forget that brother is on the team. Honestly. So shout out to Kyle Tucker for taking the group project, getting paid to do less. Maybe some people are just like that. Okay? Good for you, Kyle Tucker. See you later, buddy. So the Giants have completely owned the Dodgers this season. The problem is, though, you still look at the standings and the Giants record, and it's not enough. And there's nothing that they can do about it now. All they can do is win day by day by day. That's clearly what they're trying to do. But it makes you feel good. And I'll tell you this much, as you're feeling good, don't go look at the record. Don't go look at the standings. Not yet. Not yet. I was mentioning this yesterday as well after the show, and it feels like the Giants just need to get back a couple games by the end of May. If you're 4 games back at the end of May, based on how this thing started, it would be incredible. Now, I was talking to my co-host, and he mentioned that the Braves were under 500 close to August or something like that, ended up winning the World Series. That's very true. There's a level of, oh, we are underachieving. I just wouldn't sign up for that. And I don't think he's saying to sign up for that. He was just giving me a couple examples where, well, even if they're not 4 games out by May, there's still plenty of time. I get it, but I just think mentally, if you can just get away from those 5 or 6s and join that second group, right? Join that second group that we talked about, some of the NL Central teams. It could do so much for their kind of mental state. If they thought, hey, we just played some of the worst ball ever, is basically the flip-flop of last season, which I'll take because the Giants didn't play in the playoffs last season. So if you're saying, hey, we're going to start like garbage, but then kind of find our way later in the season, I'll take that all day. I'll take that every day of the week. You got to keep it going, though, and that's what they're going to try to do, obviously, tonight. Let's discuss Bryce Eldridge and what he's actually done on the field so far, and Bob Nightengale, the conversation that I had with him. More Locked On Giants coming up. Baseball season is here, and you can trade every game on Kalshi. That's right. On Kalshi, you can trade every single game. You can also trade Giants, Dodgers, of course, as they look to figure out who's going to win this series. If the Dodgers don't win tonight, then obviously the Giants would have taken over. So go check out those odds and see what the payout could be for you. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probabilities change, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code LOCKEDON to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 and up only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. So yesterday we spent a lot of time on getting Bryce Eldridge ABs, but I wanted to take a look at what he's done so far and, just give thoughts. So obviously it's a super small sample size, but you are hoping that you can see something or start to see something as he gets more ABs, assuming he does. So right now he only has 17 at bats, 2 hits, 1 home run. He's hitting 118 with 211 OBP, 505 OPS. You really can't do much with that. And I'll tell you this much, going back to the game last night, I was begging, I was pleading, I was hoping that line drive to the second baseman that he barely caught, I think that would have driven in at least 1 run. I wanted that for Bryce Eldridge so bad. It just felt like in that moment, he would have been part of the action in a win, right? Because in that game, he had a home run against the Pirates. I think they lost that game. So with all of that being said, it would have been huge for Bryce Eldridge to get an opportunity to be a part of the rivalry, put his feet in the dirt with the rest of the guys. And unfortunately, it did not work out. There is obviously no panic meter here. There's no panic meter just quite yet with Bryce Eldridge. Is far too early. But if he does start having more consistent at-bats, then we'll be paying more attention. Like, I don't even know how to evaluate what we're seeing from Bryce Eldridge right now. So he DH'd to last night, so he's probably not going to play today. I just don't know how anybody is evaluating him. I don't know how the Giants are even evaluating him, if he's just going to get these random pinch hits and random starts. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want to say it. I'm not saying that's why it didn't work out with this guy, but it's kind of feeling a little bit Luis Matos-y. Right now, I think Luis Matos was getting more time. Don't get me wrong, but just we're going to pull this guy up, platoon him. Then when he goes back to AAA, he balls out. We're going to pull him up, platoon him, and he's going to get opportunities when he does. Don't get me wrong. Luis Matos got way more opportunities, but he was platooning with Yastrzemski and guys like that. I think if you are Tony Vitello, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, if Matt Chapman is a sunk cost and you don't think, hey, if he starts playing better, maybe there's some value that he can gain back and you can move him, even though that's more Buster Posey's job, then you might as well throw him in the platoon conversation with everybody else and make sure Bryce gets more at-bats, because he clearly needs them, right? He doesn't look overmatched. He doesn't look uncomfortable, but he just needs them. And when you look and you see, man, that dude's only had 17 at-bats, it feels like he's been up for a while. Well, he's been sitting games, and you're not going to get better riding pine. And if you're not going to send him back to Sacramento, then look at Matt Chapman as a sunk cost and say, we're going to platoon Matt Chapman with Casey Schmidt and do it that way. That's pretty much it. Watching Bryce last night, you don't want him to be up here for too long and not find any footing. That's the last thing you want. So there's not really much to break down because everything has been so random. He's not even in that 20 at-bats yet. What are we supposed to do with that? The other thing I wanted to get into was the Bob Nightengale conversation. So we had him on my radio show on Sacktown Sports 1140. You can go check that out. And one of the things that Bob Nightengale said that stuck out to me was a confirmation that the Brewers, and obviously when you move on from someone, clearly you're not that interested in him. But the Brewers essentially not batting an eye when they moved on from Willy Adames. Basically, we talked about the three contracts, and Bob said that Matt Chapman, defensively, you can find a world where he's bringing you some value back. And obviously, Rafi Devers, if he starts hitting, that's just where his bread's going to be buttered. Willy Adames was the contract that Bob Nightengale was more worried about than the others. And I think that makes me feel a little bit better because I think there's more left in the tank for Willy Adames. I don't think Willy Adames is washed up. He's just super streaky. So if that's the guy that everybody, I guess, is maybe saying, I don't know if you're going to be able to move him or whatever the case is, if you get him on a hot streak and timing is in your favor, you never know when a team is desperate for a bat. I know that's a huge commitment, but you never know. But we do know that Willy Adames is going to get hot. He's going to get ice cold, but he's also going to get hot. So that's one thing that Bob Nightengale had to say. And then as far as the Logan Webb stuff that he alluded to, basically doesn't feel like it would happen, but the Giants, just like that exec said, the Giants wouldn't have a choice but to listen if things didn't turn around. But I know there was a lot of conversation and back and forth as to, okay, was this a report or was this Bob Nightingale's just opinion? From the conversation that I had with him, it felt more so, and I know he brought up that exec, it felt more so as an opinion versus in that building, somebody told Bob Nightengale, oh, well, we're actively trying to get off of these contracts. It was more as if the Giants would like to get off of these contracts. And that's just like me saying the Giants would like to get off of these contracts because they're bad contracts. So that is my take on it. You got to be, a little careful when you ask, hey, is this from a source or, is this just your opinion? So how I took it was more of an educated opinion, if you will, as if he's heard some things, but it wasn't exactly whatever source in the Giants organization told me we're trying to get off of these deals. It was kind of I've heard some things and this makes sense. So a marriage of the two or a hybrid of the two, if you will. So I wanted to close the loop on that because I know a lot of people were a bit confused. Is this the Giants opening the garage sale or whatever? Maybe the garage sale is already open, and that type of stuff is going to come out as we get deeper into the trade season. One more segment with you. Dodgers preview part 3. More Locked On Giants coming up. If you've ever opened your bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills can get overwhelming fast. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. It tracks all your subscriptions in one spot and can help cancel the ones you don't need with just a few taps. It automatically categorizes your spending so you can actually see where your money is going, and you can set budgets, get alerts, and stay on top of upcoming bills. It just makes everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals. Join rocketmoney.com/locked on. That's rocketmoney.com/locked on. Don't forget to check out the Everydayer Club for ad-free episodes and access to our group chat with me and other listeners of this show. Tap the link in the show notes or go to lockedonsfgiants.supercast.com. One more segment with you, and it is Dodgers Giants part 3. The Dodgers right now in the wild card. Yeah, that's right. They're in the wild card because they absolutely cannot beat the San Francisco Giants, and hopefully that continues tonight. It's going to be Robbie Ray versus Shohei Ohtani. Tickets as low as $44 if you want to hop in there tonight. That's not too bad. If there are any double agents out there in LA watching this that are Giants fans or hater Smurf Dodger fans, hello. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. But you got Robbie Ray taking on Shohei Ohtani. And I know after this series, the Giants won't see the Dodgers for a very long time. So the next time the Giants see the Dodgers, it'll be a completely different world. I mean, we'll know so much about both teams. And let me double check here. Yeah, you got to keep scrolling. It's not even the first half of the season. This is the last time they faced the Dodgers on the first half of the season. And now I'm curious here. Second half of the season, here you go. The Giants will not face the Dodgers again until September. So much. And those games, I hope, will matter. They better matter at that point. So this is a good way. I know we still got a game tomorrow, of course, but a good way to take on, obviously, your heated rival when you're not going to see them again for a while. And Shohei Ohtani, I mean, he does what he does. Now, with the bat, he hasn't been great. I know he hit a home run yesterday, but he's been struggling a little bit. And you look at what he's done as far as pitching, and this season he's thrown in 6 games. He's thrown 37 innings, all right, with 42 strikeouts. His ERA is a 0.97. Well, that can't be right. That can't be right. 0.97 ERA for Shohei Ohtani. Can I double check that somewhere? Like that, let me just make sure. Let me just double check here. Baseball reference is, oh, okay. No, his ERA is a 0.97. Oh, well, that's lovely. That's just great. That's just incredible. So Shohei, even though the bat hasn't been great, he's been balling on the mound. And we know, they're not going to typically leave him in too long. So this should be a fun one. Robbie Ray, we're going to need some primetime grunting tonight. We're going to need some primetime grunting tonight to take down Shohei and his sub-1 ERA. That's just incredible. And hopefully Shohei hitting the baseball cools off a bit. Yesterday, 2 for 4 with a home run. Nobody else did a ton else. Freddie Freeman with a knock. Mookie Betts back into the fold. Kyle Tucker actually did get a hit. I know I was giving him a hard time at the beginning of the show. And just a bunch of donuts across the board everywhere else with your Max Muncies, your Andy Pajez's, your Teoscar Hernandez's, and Hai-Song Kim. So not much there. Blake Trinan came in. The Giants got a run off him. And then Enriquez and Dreyer came in as well. But by that time, the game kind of was what it was. I do want to give a shout out, though, to Jung-Hoo Lee. I forgot to do this as we were doing the game recap. That catch that he made in the first or second inning to limit the damage to 1 run for the Dodgers, that was huge. And if you aren't able to corral that thing and it gets to the wall, that's a really ugly start to the game. And it was, the bottom of the first. So Jung-Hoo Lee has been outstanding in right field. You see him feeling more comfortable at the plate. Speaking of comfortable, they couldn't get as comfortable with their post-game celebration. That was removed. I don't know if it was from the league, the team. I know Tony Vitello said they had a conversation, but last night after the win, they just all took a bow instead of whatever it was that they did last time. So, happy trails to that celebration. And I saw the Mets did it too. So as it's catching on, it's getting shut down right as it's starting. So just wanted to give an homage to that. But Jung-Hoo Lee able to track that thing down. That was huge, man. And Adrian Hauser, another guy, he's just going to battle. And it's never going to be shut down. I know I've said it before. It's never going to be 7 innings of the best pitching you've ever seen in your life. Just going to keep the guys afloat. And he's thrown well these last couple outings for him. So that's just what it is for the bottom of that rotation. Just keep that team alive. Keep that team in the mix and hope that the hitting starts to turn around. Because this same game, right? We've seen the Giants lose games like this just because, all right, well, Shohei gets that next hit, right? And now it's 2-1, and now the Giants just roll over for the rest of the night. We've seen that before. But this version of the Giants, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, this version of the Giants that doesn't roll over, that doesn't just say, hey, we don't have it today. All we had was 1 run in us. That team can handle Adrian Hauser outings like that. Tyler Mahle outings like we've seen before when he's rolling. Then obviously you have Landon Roop, Robbie Ray, and Logan Webb. If you hit like that, and if you do have a counterpunch, your pitching doesn't look as bad. And then you have the bullpen, who has been fairly trustworthy outside of some, closer situations, and they're still working through that. But all of that, everything looks better when you hit, right? Now, all of a sudden, 3 runs doesn't seem like a crazy earned run average, right? If Logan Webb gives up 3 runs, oh my goodness, how could he do that? Now, the bullpen giving up 1 run late in the inning doesn't seem crazy because you've already established yourself. Now, everything looks a little bit better when you're able to hit the baseball, and this team was supposed to hit the baseball. So hopefully they continue to do that tonight, and they can get this win against the Smurfs and win the series in LA. Then go for the sweep tomorrow. I'm already thinking about it. Why not? Why not? They got to get one at some point. And how about against the Dodgers? Thank you for listening to Locked On Giants. Thank you for watching Locked On Giants. Be sure to follow me on social media at _Styles Files, Styles with an I. If you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Giants had free plus members only Discord access and more. Head to Locked On SFGiants Supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we sing to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel on audio. Make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB. We will talk to you tomorrow. Until then, peace.